How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be tying the purple ghost minnow. For this jig I'm using a minnow jig hook. This is just a cheap hook that you can get from any tackle store basically. I flattened it down with pliers and powder painted it with ProTech silver and put a silver 3mm eye on there. For the thread we're going to be using a gray UTC Ultra Thread 70 denier. We're just going to start that right up against the head there and take it down to the point of the hook. For the tail we're going to be using a single gray marabou feather. This is gray pearl color. We're going to line up the tips. For the length, we want it to be about the length of the hook itself. So once you've measured that out, you can tie it in right there at the point of the hook. Give it a few tight wraps to make sure that tail won't move on you. And once you're sure it's secured, you can let go and start winding the rest of the feather up to the collar on that. And then just clip the feather. Then we're going to go over that with our thread, just to clean it up a bit. And bring the thread back down to the tail. And you can straighten that tail if you need to. I like to spread the fibers out so that they're not just sitting on the hook, so that they kind of surround the hook. Alright, for the next part of the tail we're going to be using a purple monoflash. So I'm going to take about 5 of those fibers and just tie them in on the side of the tail there. We'll worry about the length afterwards, so just make sure you have enough to work with. Quite a bit longer than the tail is suggested. Then you want to line those up so that they're about right in the middle, if you want to worry about that. Tie it down real tight. Then we're going to flip the monoflash over to the other side so that we have some on both sides. And tie it down. And line those ones up so that they sit about in the middle as well on that side. Now we're going to cut those to length, so we're just going to pull them with the marabou tail and cut them so that they're just a little bit longer than the marabou. Just like that. That looks perfect. If you do need to line them up a little bit more, feel free to do that. But that looks good. For the body, we're going to be using this Crystal Ice Age chenille. This is purple silver in a size 4. So I'm just going to take a piece of that about 4 inches long and tie it in so that the tag end goes up to the collar. This will just create a nice, even, level body. So just tie that in tight. Like I said, up to the collar, and then bring our thread back up to the head. Now we're going to start winding this chenille. Just make sure each wrap is pressed up against the last, so that you have a nice tight body. You don't want it to be too sparse. This is a really thin chenille, so it's going to take quite a few wraps. And when you get up to that collar, it shouldn't be a problem because the excess material that we tied up to there, you shouldn't even notice a difference in the taper or anything. But yeah, just continue wrapping that chenille. It's got a really nice color to it, and it creates a nice bait fish profile. Looks like we're gonna have just enough. So wrap that up to the head, and then we're gonna tie it down tight. Give it 3 or 4 good wraps of thread to tie off the chenille. And clip off your excess if you have any. And now we're going to whip finish. As usual, just about a 5-turn whip finish on that should do it. Just make sure you keep the thread tight. Again, pull it tight. And you can clip that off. And there you have it. That is the purple ghost minnow. It's a really cool color combination that crappie love for some reason. Purple just seems to drive them crazy, and if you make it look more natural with silver like a bait fish, it seems to do the trick really well. Now I'll get it wet to show you what it looks like. As you can see, that crystal flash really adds another layer of depth to the tail. The marabou will give it the shape, and then the crystal flash will just conform to that and create a really cool translucent look that looks just like a fish. So yeah, tie some of these up for yourself. Hopefully it works well for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and please consider subscribing.